Today on Uncommonly Good MTG, we're playing Orzhov 70. What does that mean? Well, Orzhov is black and white. I mean, you see we got plenty of black and white cards. And 70 because Aetherhub said it had a 70% chance of winning. It had a 70% win rate. If that sounds interesting to you, then stay tuned to find out more. Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I am your host, and remember, you can trust me. I'm a trained professional. Dr. You Can't Suck Yet. Yes, thank you. Film before lives. Due to your audience. Thank you so much. You Can't Suck Yet. Word to your mama. So I'm speaking to you from my secret underground headquarters, and I'm bringing to you a deck I found over on the Aetherhub, posted by the MTG Assistant Meta, and it's called, well, they called it Orzhov, and it said it had a 70% win rate. So that's what we called it, Orzhov 70. So this is like a Orzhov bounce deck where we're putting in cards that have enter the battlefield effects, and then we bounce them back using a couple of guys and play them again nice and cheap over and over again. The interesting thing is then we kind of mixed in some Sheoldred demon-y action on top of that. Yeah, the two of them go great together like peanut butter and chocolate. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the cards in this deck. We'll talk a little bit how it should work, and then we're going to go out and crush some hopes and dreams. What do we got? When this one comes into play, you bounce a non-land permanent that you control back to your hand. And then if you did return a permanent that way, you put a Popo counter on it, making it into a 2/2. You got this guy that you can flash in, and when this creature ends, you return another target non-land permanent you control to its owner's hand. And if it was a token, you draw a card. I don't think we have any tokens in here, but maybe. So anyways, you got 8 chances to bounce things back. But what are we playing with? Grim Bauble, which does -2/-2 to a creature an opponent controls. Hopeless Nightmare, which forces an opponent to discard a card and lose 2 life. Tinybones forces them to discard. Momentum Breaker forces them to sacrifice a creature or a vehicle. And if they can't, they have to discard a card. Nowhere to Run does -3/-3 to a creature an opponent controls and gets rid of Ward. So that's all cool. So those are all the things you're going to bounce in and out and do a bunch of crazy things to them. Also, we got Temporary Lockdown. This will wipe out each non-land permanent with a mana value of 2 or less. The interesting thing is if you get your own cards, and then if you bounce this one out, these guys will all come jumping back, and you'll be doing a bunch of damage and force them to discard all at one time, at which point that you could cast it again and do it again. So you could play some tricks with Temporary Lockdown and your own cards, provided you got enough of the Kirin or the Pixie to bounce them back a few times. This guy Liliana forces people to discard or to sacrifice a creature. Archfiend of the Dross is an amazing kill machine, but you only got like 3 turns to do it. Otherwise, you have to bounce it back to your hand and start the cycle over again. And you got to be prepared for it because it will kill you. It will kill you. Sheoldred, 2 points of damage every time they draw a card, 2 points of life every time you draw a card. She's the Black Queen. And Unholy Annex, which will... the other one will what? Well, at the end of your step, you draw a card and you lose 2 life. If you have a demon, then your opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life as well as draw that card. So if you get Sheoldred out, then who cares? Whether you have a demon or not, it'll either equal out or you end up gaining a ton every time you draw one of these stupid cards, right? It'd be great. Lots of life gain. Plus, if you got 5 mana, you can get a demon out there. You can pay for it straight up. You get a nice 6/6 flying demon creature. All right, land-wise, what do we got? Man land, another man land, and then some dual lands of various types. All right, so there we go. What are we going to do? We're going to control the board. We're going to be playing some tricks, demoning it up, drawing lots of cards, and gaining lots of life. That sounds good to me. All right, so before we go out and do our damage, let's do as we do every night. Let's say our prayers and talk about what is best in life. Dear Black Queen Sheoldred, who dwells within the dark chambers of my heart, please hear my prayers and grant your blessings as we attempt to crush our enemies, see them driven before us, and to hear the lamentations of the women. All right, playing against Imhotep. All right, what is this? -3 only. All right, we'll smoke that guy. Smoke him. We can afford to waste a temporary lockdown. All right, we're fine. We're just going to have to chill out for a second. He's going to rage against me. He needs a carrier, and that's one of them. I figure at 20 life I can afford to make it through one turn. All right, cool. Now if I lock down on the next turn, I won't feel so bad. Because I can tell you, decks like this, they don't have that many creatures. He's gonna have it full of enchantments and stuff. This is non-targeted effect. Can't do anything unless you can just get rid of my enchantment. There's no protection here, man. Look out, it's a tumbleweed coming right at you. All right, Sheoldred. You can do a disenchant too, cool. Or a discard. Let's start the hemorrhaging. All right, the question is, does he have a creature? There's this little creature. This psychopath who has no pet. Yeah, whatever. Have a good time. All right, let's Tinybones them. So if I temporarily lock down him now, I'll definitely have it down. Does he have more creatures? I'm thinking it's time to temporarily lock down again. I'd hate to die. I've seen myself be killed with 13, so let's just do that. I mean, I know I got man lands over there, but I think we'll be okay as long as he doesn't get creatures out. Yeah, it's another creature. It doesn't matter, man. It can't do anything. No haste. Manland. Get him. You want the 4 or do you want the 1? Your guy can stay alive if you block the 1. He just takes it. All right, you're going to be down to 1 point here in just a second. I'm at 17. I should be able to survive this. I don't think you do 17 points of damage off of that. There we go. Winner, winner. Victory dinner. And we're playing against Lucifer, the opponent, the adversary, the Lightbringer. All right. Keep. The guy trying to zombie me. We'll start in with a little discard action. All right, so with Nurturing Pixie, we can do more of that, soften this guy up somewhat. Got a lot of potential discard going on. You can't counter it. You can kill it now if you like. There you go. Ought to pay. You're bleeding cards fast, man. We'll have you top decking here in a second. And bounce it back. And gone. I feel like I'm causing myself more damage than he is, though. That took a long time for him to figure that one out. All right, so let's see. If I do this, he'll probably just kill Liliana. Let's put out the Archfiend. Oh, I'm down to 6. That is ridiculous. Hopefully he doesn't have more creature kill. All right, man, you got one card. I don't know what you're planning on doing. What makes you think you're thinking so much? Did you got some Graveyard Recursion there? All right, well, I can kill that thing off. Lose it. Yeah, there I am, just killing myself to put stuff up. 8 Pain Lands, man. That's the devil's cards there. All right, in for 6. Just have to kill one more guy, and he's kaput. Of course, this thing will kill me. Maybe I can't play black because I don't have any good black sources that aren't my own death. I got 2 flying guys. You got 3 mana. You can kill one of them probably. Doesn't really matter, does it? All right, whatever, here we go. All right, let's go for it. Here we go. And we win. And there we go. Boom, boom. Goes the room. Victory. All right, playing against ARNTH. ARNTH. All right, nothing to do here. I got to go first. So there's nothing for me to kill. Nope, nothing. Oh, I need another black. Otherwise, Sheoldred's not going anywhere. Boink. And let's recock that gun. All right, let's shoulder him. He's got a lot of good colors. There's a lot of things he can do, but I'm hoping that he can't deal with Sheoldred. That would be great. Because I can tell you, War Leader's Call means he's not really looking to do removal. He's looking to do aggro. And if he's playing little guys, I got what it takes. All right, so neither of these are going to help. I could do both of them, I suspect, to take that thing down, but that's just going to... Let's just do it. Let's do it. All right, gone, but he'll just be out for a little bit. Hopefully we can use this time to our advantage. All right, it's down to 8. We're rolling 6. All right, that's not great. All right, this will help. All right, lose 2. We're gonna have to bleed this guy slowly. Maybe I'll have to just chump at the Nurturing Pixie. And that's devastating. That is really bad. He's got a nice lineup of cards there. There's half our life gone. These guys are too expensive. Can I just do something crazy? That's only gonna get me up to 5. Ooh, that sucked. All right, question is, will I die this turn? I believe the answer is yes. Oh, I can chomp. Oh, and I won. Victory, victory. All right, we're playing against M. Williamson 5. M. Williams on. We have no black. We got this is black and no white, technically. All right, I'm not a big fan of this mana. I'm going to go to mulligan this. I'd only be able to hopeless Nightmare Grim Bauble. I guess I got 2 turns. And then I just need to get something either black or straight. All right, I'm going to try. I'm going to try it out. Oh, I pushed mulligan. What is this? The same cards practically with better lands. We'll keep it. We'll get rid of this one. There we go. All right, so no matter how big this thing is, I can always blow it away with temporary lockdown. Problem is, I think I don't want to necessarily eliminate my enchantments. So I'm going to hold on here, not flood my board with them. All right, that's good. Temporary lockdown. You go ahead and discard a card now. I'm not happy with that. Not really getting anywhere. I mean, I need another mana if I want to be able to put out the demon. Paying a lot of blood cheap creatures, isn't he? All right, let's just demon up. All right, if I temporary lockdown, I'm gonna lose my demon. Oh, what can we do here? Let's demon in. All right, can I do something to get rid of 6 at this moment? Let's take a look. We've got, let's just get rid of the last card in his hand. Let's just do that. This will get rid of 5. That's not enough for the 6. Eliminate everybody else from his side. Let's just do that. Should have done it the other way around. Let's see you flash this guy out. That's nice. Walk. In your face. Let's see. Let us. BO1 does. Super. And let's go ahead and bounce something back. All right, so we've got more than enough to kill him, provided he doesn't wipe out my guy. He's got one chance. That's it right there. Let's just do that. All right, that's it. What can you do? Distribute counters? Yeah, we got this thing up. We're fine. I'm only blocking for 1, but whatevs. Eyes down to 4. And we win! Suck it, suckerfish! I are playing against Seleth 6869. All right, Hopeless Nightmare. I hate little pooty poot there. Unfortunately, we need white mana. We don't have it. This will come in tapped. This is black, technically. The land, multicolored lands are just pain in the butt today. Can't play this. And bounce that out. And bounce it back in. And we win. And we win. Victory. All right, we're playing against Twan. The Twan and only. 1, 2, keep. Let's start softening him up a little. Discard. Boink. All right, gone. Next time we can get out Liliana. We got our control ramp going. I'm kind of glad he did that. I shouldn't have played Liliana just then. Lose it. What's he playing here? Abyssal Harbinger. All right, cool. Looks like he's doing some regeneration there. Hey, it's more than I can handle, though. At least I don't have to worry about that card. That would have taken out Sheoldred straight up. Let's just get at him. Come on, straight for the face. Nice, down to 6. Sheoldred, you're doing awesome. Baby, thank you so much. Victory! All right, so we are with Orzhov 70. And it was a great deck. It did a good job, and it held up to its 70 reputation. I ended up having a 75% win rate with this deck. It did a really good job. The thing that pulled me into this deck was, I mean, I've seen Nurturing Pixie with all these little things, everything that has this enter the battlefield effect, you know, sure, and then you just kind of bounce them around a little bit and you win the game. But this thing had Archfiend to the Dross and Sheoldred in it. I'm like, yeah, those guys don't have enter the battlefield. Let me just ask a question. Can you return a non-land perm you control? Oh, so yeah, if Archfiend is getting into a really dangerous position, you could bounce the Archfiend back to your hand and start the cycle over again. So that's good. But I really liked having these guys in here. They were really fun. It was like you're playing Orzhov Bounce with a little bit of demon action. And that was a nice combination of cards going on. All right, so let's get to it. Who is the MVP? Who is the most valuable player? It was probably Temporary Lockdown. For some reason, this was the card that gave me the most action throughout this thing, being able to wipe out. Against this deck, I was getting lots of people putting out lots of little guys. It wasn't like they were playing tokens per se, but they were playing a lot of like, what is it called? You know, like Raise the Past or something. And which is great about these is because it exiles it. So therefore, you can't raise the past and they don't get their guys back. And so then I could just do whatever I wanted to. And that was fantastic. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give it to Temporary Lockdown. I think this card did a fantastic job in this deck and really held it together. Congratulations, Temporary Lockdown. You're a weird-looking card, but you are definitely going to Disneyland. All right, so let's see, was this deck competitive? I got a 70% win rate. Aetherhub said this was a 70% deck. So yeah, this is a competitive deck. It did very well. So I'm just going to give it marks for that. Was it fun? Provided you got your cards in the right order? Yeah. There were sometimes it felt like I was being dealt stuff. There was like 3s and 4s a bunch, in which case I had to crawl my way up to 3 to be able to start playing cards. There's a lot of stuff in 1 and 2. There's no reason for that to really happen. Just mulligan. Mulligan if you get that. You need to start off on the early end, being able to control the early game, and then work your way up. The only thing I can say about this deck was a little disappointing. It is heavy discard. It doesn't have to be. You could choose to play around it. But like playing a deck with a lot of counterspells in it, when you have the opportunity, you're going to play it. So yeah, this is a heavy discard deck as well, and that can be really annoying to play against. But still, from your perspective, the guy playing the deck, yeah, it was plenty fun. Plenty of fun. All right, lastly, was this deck interesting? I mean, it's a pretty common deck in the meta right now. It was interesting seeing the demon-y stuff jammed in there. I think I might have played this once before. I'm not sure if I made a video out of it or not. I wasn't a big fan of Nurturing Pixie Bounce. It was cool seeing this Kirin in here doing its thing, because it was nice being able to do it 8 times rather than just 4. So yeah, I thought it was an interesting take on this particular deck type. It was cool. You know, the only thing I'd say that I did not like is I felt like the lands were a little slow. This guy caused you pain. This guy comes in tapped half the time. This guy comes in tapped. And yeah, I just felt like, and this one only does singleton unless you can get a hold of these. And there's only 8 of them. That's not a whole lot. So the lands were a little touchy. I think I might try to straighten it out a little bit. I don't think you really need to have quite the tricksiness inside your lands as this guy was going for, but whatever. You know, it was fine. I think it could just be better. All right, so there you go. Orzhov 70. Let's map it up. Was this deck competitive? Yes. Was this deck fun? Yeah. Was it interesting? Enough. All right, so there you go. Let's just call it a straight A deck. Straight A. If you decide to play with this deck, I hope that you have as much fun with it as I did. All right, that's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the secret underground headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. See you next time, Space Cowboys. Later.